Namaste everyone and welcome to HinduLounge. This is HinduLounge. HinduLounge is brought to you by HinduPact. HinduPact is Hindu Policy Research and Advocacy Collective, and HinduPact is an initiative of World Hindu Council of America, or VHPA. I am Ajay Shah. I am the president of VHPA, or World Hindu Council of America, and HinduLounge comes live every just about every week. We haven't done it for last few weeks because of summer, but just about every week, and we talk about contemporary American Hindu issues usually, or issues that affect Hindus globally. Today, we are going to talk about Bangladesh, and Bangladesh turmoil still continues. So let me bring our co-host back. Today with us is, as always, Sudha Jagannathan. Sudha, welcome. Namaste,
Namaste.
and Sudha, you're back from all your travels. So glad to have you here. And as you know, Sudha, as everyone knows by now, co-hosts this show. She is Hindu advocate, Hindu activist, very articulate speaker. And Sudha, we also have today with us Dipti Mahajan. Dipti is the co-convener of Hindu Pact, and she has been working on Chingari and now a lot more issues than just Chingari. So Dipti, welcome to the show, and I'll give you guys a chance to say some opening remarks, and then we have today, guys, we have 5 guests. All of them have families in Bangladesh, and so we are so fortunate that they were able to take time and join us, because they will be able to give us pretty much a first-hand report of what is currently going on in Bangladesh. So, Sudha, I'll start with you.
Namaste, Ajay and Deepthi, and our guests. This topic today is actually a very pertinent one, and I feel like this is a topic we should be doing a whole lot more because it's not getting the attention it should about Bangladesh and its treatment of minorities in the wake of the regime change. I know governments come and go, but that doesn't mean minorities in a particular country have to be targeted for the most atrocious kinds of violence acted upon them. And so I'm looking forward to hearing from our guests about their families back in Bangladesh. Maybe they can validate some of the data and what action we should take in the United States to
Right.
really make this a very
Yeah,
relevant
how
topic.
can global Hindu community kind of come together and help our
Yeah.
fellow brothers and sisters? Dipti?
Namaste, everyone. Like Suraji was saying, this issue is so pertinent. And one thing that perturbs me all the time is that something like this is happening in this time and age. And still, there is a lack of awareness across media houses and media coverage. And questions come like, oh, does Bangladesh even have Hindus? So these kind of questions, when something like a mass genocide is happening and there are so many atrocities happening against Hindus in Bangladesh, when they are one of the biggest religion in Bangladesh. So this should not be happening, and how we can help, how the community at large can help, and what we can do. That is something that we would like to know today.
Thank you, Dipti. Let me bring our guests. I'll bring them all on. There are 5 of them, and they will do their own quick introduction. So first is Shubha Majumdar. Shubha, welcome. Ashim Day. Ashim, welcome. Rana, welcome. We have BK Datta, welcome, and we have Tanmay. Tanmay, welcome to the show. And then finally, we have Pankaj. Pankaj, welcome to the show. And if you guys don't mind, please turn on the videos and do a quick introduction. I'll start with you, Shubham.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thank you for giving me the chance here. So I am from Bangladesh. I am from Chittagong division, this Noakhali. That's where I grew up. But I'm in the States for last 7 years, and I live in Minnesota. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Subham. Ashin?
Yeah, thank you giving me opportunity. So I am basically from Bangladesh. My district is Noakhali, and right now I am living in Michigan, and I have been in USA more than 12 years.
Okay. Thank you, Ashin. Rana?
Namaskar and hello everyone. My name is Rana Banik and I am from Chittagong division. I've been living in US for last 5 years. I am speaking to you from Nashville, Tennessee. Thank you.
Thank you, Rana. And Tanmay, video is off. Maybe you can turn the video on and just leave it on if you don't mind, so we can have a nice interactive session. Please introduce yourself.
Okay, namaskar everyone. I am Tanmay. I am actually from Germany. I am joining this meeting from Germany. I am studying in Germany, and I have my home back in Bangladesh. It's in Chatpur district. That is a district in Chittagong division. And I am here today because I just want to know that what VHP is thinking, and Shubha Majumdar have invited me to join this meeting. And because of my exam and all the other things, I am actually not so much connected with the issues and all the ongoing meetings so far. But I am here to know about what we can do and how VHP can coordinate with all of the stripes we are doing.
Thank you, Tanmay. Pankaj?
Hi, this is Pankaj. Namaskar, everyone. I'm here in Austin. Actually, I've been here for 10 plus years. So, same as Tanmoy, I'm here to listen about what you are thinking about current situation and how we can actually impact and save our Hindus in our country. I guess it is high time to actually unite all Hindus together and raise our voice to for our community because they are actually suffering. My family is in Dhaka. None of my relatives are impacted, but uh, it is a high concern that they'll not be safe in future. And also, we are here and thinking that we are safe, but at some point we will all be impacted. So that's all actually I wanted to focus. And yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
And yeah, and BK Datta. Datta, Pankaj, you can leave your video on. Yeah, you can leave your video on. Yeah. And BK Datta, I don't know if he's online or not. So why don't we just get started? If he joins, we'll get his introduction. So, Sudha, you want to start with the questions, and we'll all kind of jump in.
Yeah, I would like to hear from maybe Shubha or Rana or anyone who have families in Bangladesh and that you are in touch with, and what you are hearing from your families back there. First question is, are they safe? Your families.
Yeah. So, Shubha, you want
I'm
to start? Yeah, please go
sure.
ahead.
My family is safe so far, but there was a attempted attack on one of our neighborhood. Just to note that I grew up in a neighborhood or in a Lakshmipur, Noakhali. There's like less than I think about 2% Hindus, so there is not much Hindus left anyway. Most of them left by 1971, and then if in case you know, 1946, the riot happened, that Noakhali riots, which is where I'm from. So there is not many Hindus left to even attack. But it's still there's like very dangerous things happen. There was an attack in 2021, if you know, that was there is like again a countrywide attack during the Durga Puja, and that
Yes.
happened in that happened in Lakshmipur, that happened in Chowmohuni. So Chowmohuni is like 10, I should say like 16, 10 miles from our place. So those are the temples I used to visit, and they vandalized them, they burned them. It was like hell, and they actually killed 2 Hindus there. Now, what happened? Government did arrest some people, but what happens in this case is they just to show up, they do arrest some people, or they do give some kind of cases against those people because there is pressure from outside. But those trials never happened. I have never seen anybody have been sentenced, say, 10 years to jail or for killing like lifetime imprisonment. I don't know if I'm wrong. Anybody correct me? So some of those people, right after 5th August this year, they got out from the jail because there is no laws and order in the country. And then they went to those people, they attacked, they killed, they pressured them to took up the cases against them. So that happened in the neighborhood which they attacked in 2021. There was case against them because it was a mass, large-scale attack. So there was case against them. Now they got out of prison, or they got much more, confidence after this, and then they pressured those people, those Hindus, to take up those cases. So this is what happened in my neighborhood. There was a Hindu guy, his house was attacked, but I know that guy was related to our Malik, so I should not comment on that. But as you probably already saw, there is like a report in Turmoil. This is again one of the Bangladesh's leading newspaper. Of course, they remain silent. Many of these newspapers remain silent, but thanks to them, they eventually published something like last 3 or 4 days ago. They said like from August 5th until August 20th, there was 1068 at houses, Hindu houses or temples have been attacked just in 15 days, and 2 Hindus were killed. Again, these numbers are very low compared to what happened, and don't not to mention like when this kind of rapes happen, when this kind of sexual assault happen, people usually those families don't publish it. They try to flee to India, or they try to remain silent. So, and those happened as well. But eventually they published something like 1068. One thing I want to mention is like this kind of attack happened so many times before on Hindus. Like after election 2001 to 2006, it happened so many times. These are like open source information. If you go to Wikipedia, you'll see after 2001 election, there was a attack on Hindus in Borishal. They gang raped 200 women, Hindu women. It's on Wikipedia. Just go and check it out. 2001 violence. And during last Sheikh Hasina regime, they checked like what happened in this 2001 to 2006. They found there was more than 18,000 rape, sexual assault during that time. Again, this is all in Wikipedia, all open source information. And then this similar attack happened in 2012, again on Buddhist and in Hindus. 25,000 Muslims attacked, 25,000 together attacked on Hindus and Buddhists in Chittagong, Cox's Bazar. Again, this kind of attack happened in 2013. 2013 it happened because government put some of this what we call war criminal trials, but Hindus have nothing to do. They killed Hindus at that time, and then after trial, they again killed Hindus. They again attacked hundreds of Hindu temples and houses. And then this attack again happened in 2014, and then again in 2016. And then 2020-21, that is when the place that I used to visit, it just touched as close as it could get. What frustrates us is like after this attack, some of this international news media like CNN, BBCs, and like all this news media, they got together, DW, they got together, they like went to the fact checking and things like that, as if this kind of things is happening for the first time. Some remain silent, and some remain thanks to social media, because now we have a voice, we can at least share things. So they kind of wanted to silence it, and then they put, okay, these are not all of them are true, as if this is the first time it happened. So this happened for decades. Now, how come they're like so sure it never happened, anything like that, or like, they're acting as if like first time happened. So that kind of really bothered us, all of us. Like we are seeing it firsthand, and these people are either remaining silent, or when we do publish something, we do say something, they want to silence us. They say, hey, you guys are publishing fake news. I'm not telling there is not any fake news. It's a developing situation and it's a mass scale atrocities. There will be fake news. These news agencies, they also published fake news in like Israel Palestine conflict, because it's a developing situation. But in this case, they are like so much into fact checking again, just to deny the whole situation here. So that really bothered me and bothered us. I will stop here and I will give other two chance to speak on this. Thank you.
Yeah. So let me uh, uh, let me ask you, how about your family?
Uh, Compared to Shubha's incident, my family lives in kind of the urban side of the Chittagong, and luckily they were pretty much unharmed. But when the Hasina government was ousted on August 5th, and from August 5th to August 8th, they were pretty much literally bunkered inside the house. Uh, there was uh, there was news that two safest places in Chittagong, like Dampara Police Line and Kotwali, these two are the police hub of the port city. There was news like there has been widespread looting in the police station, and there was literally no law and order from 3 p.m. when the news broke out that Sheikh Hasina fled the country until 6 p.m. There was sounds of like sporadic gunshots, could be cocktails. There was vigils, agitated march outside in a very threatening slogans and language. So they literally locked themselves in the house. It was pretty much alarming situation. We had no internet connection because the internet was completely cut off, so we didn't know like what conditions they were. The initial 1 week was very much alarming. We kind of understood like we did not see what happened in post-poll violence 2001, or we did not understand. We are very little, we did not have any understanding of politics and all that, but we observed 2024. We heard of stories like what happened in 1971 25th March. There was like uh, operation searchlight by Pak army, like, so it was kind of that kind of moment like that played, the scenario played. uh, Overall, like, there has this news like Hajare Goli is one of the place where Hindu artisans, jewelry workers, and several other handcraft workers lived. So those places were hard hit. Even just to give you a simple litmus test, I have never seen in my life that Hajare Goli did Vishwakarma Puja. So with a just a photo, but this year they did not bring any kind of idol of the deity Vishwakarma. They just, this year they just had a photograph. This has never happened in at least my life. So
And
this is
probably
this
thousands of years, right? Because
could be. I mean, this is,
Hindus lived in that part of in that part of the world for at least a few thousand years. So
yeah.
it's not just in last 20, 30, 40 years. It's for thousands of years these worships have been
Yeah.
going on.
So my friends and all, and after like once you hear, so that's kind of the first week scenario. And whenever you are hearing this time, we heard that lots of our friends, lots of our colleagues, lots of our Bangladeshi friends and people here, a large faction of them were in outright denial mode. Like, these are not happening, these are just propaganda, or whoever burning temples are Awamu League, or in some cases raw agents. So this was completely bogus and outright kind of denying like what you are experiencing. It's kind of another trauma. Like, instead of supporting, they are denying like what happening to what's your family's being going through, what happening to your temples, and what happening to the shops and businesses. The drama is still ongoing. The situation is still volatile because there are lots of disinformation going on. uh, so we kind of had to live through that. Like even I have like one of my colleague or junior kind of, I uploaded something like this is Hajarigoli temple is burning or something. So there was like some sort of confusion, like these are Awami League. So this was not like believable, like Awami League, which literally the country's prime minister or the ruling prime minister fled, they would do such anarchy. So that was unprecedented to live through that. Uh, so just to give you an example, my family is very much well established in the country. They never had any intention of leaving the country or thinking anything outside, because they were very much happy with their life and all. They did not have any sort of, even in 2021 there was like an understanding like situation will improve, and whatever is happening there might be some sort of reconciliation and all these things. But 2024 kind of a very clarion call, like is it a turning point or is it point of no return? Like what happens next? Is it Hindus will live in this country or will not? So it's kind of that kind of crossroad we are at right now. So that's kind of my few personal experiences. And other experiences, I talked to many friends initially when in the early August, when there was no law and order, the cops where there was numbers like call this number, but there are so many people calling or the network was not good. Even in some cases cops told that we cannot come now because there are risks to our life. And there has been like unverified report like 4 to 5,000 cops were lynched or beaten to death because of this agitation and movement kind of scenario going on. uh, so I talked to this friend who works in kind of a government job. So when Sheikh Hasina government fell on 5th August, I think the army or the authority at that time, 6th August, declared everyone to come back to work to show normalcy or everything. At that point, family was very worried. Like, how are we supposed to go to work when there is literally people getting killed on the streets? There is no public transportation. There's nothing is working. So that's another scenario. So my friend kind of told me like, just I went to office from 9 to 5. I did not sleep last 3 nights because they had to guard their neighborhood, because they created local teams to guard the neighborhood. And the consecutively 3 days, he said that from 6th to 10th August, he had to go to office and also take part in the defense team or guarding team that kind of surrounding the local neighborhoods to guard them. And there was like in later like 15th to 20 August, there was like widespread reports of robbery, uh, like violence, because there is no cop and no cop is coming. And even there they captured like 4 robbers right where my sister live. The robbers or 4 of these vigilantes went inside the housing. Luckily no one got injured, but I still remember telling my sister to keep something sharp with her so that she can protect herself and her kids and family. So that has been the scenario. It's up this close. Never in my life I saw my family members worried this much. I have never been myself worried this much. So it has been really a very panic and like literally life or death scenario just played out. Like anything can happen. You never know what's going to happen because there's no law and order. Who's going to come and protect you like if you don't protect yourself? So this has been the scenario initially.
Thank you. Let me bring Ashish, sorry, Ashim here. Ashim, what is going, how is your family?
My family, they are doing good because we have a Hindu neighborhood. They are like watching over the night. But like our Hindu neighborhood is like surrounded by the most of the like BNP supporters. So actually they are giving like protections so like because like home district is Noakhali. So pretty much like I can say one thing like during the like Sheikh Hasina regimes like is a host part like for the Hindu people because she pretended to be the friends of Hindu, but in the reality she is not actually. And like when I leave the country 2012, so that time I realized like something will happen because most of the Hindu actually not realizing like what's coming for them because they are not prepared actually. Even if I talk about like Bangladesh, or if I talk about even India, like we are not ready for this kind of thing because especially like after partition of 1946, like 1947, they got the country based on the religion. So they got everything, they got like thing, but Hindu they do not get anything. We just like suffering. Like if you like, I go beyond like Bangladesh. If we talk about the Pakistani Hindu, they are suffering a lot. They're taking their women like 15, 12, 15 like year kids. Nobody bothering actually. Like Hindu, we just like happy with the like job, like family, like then we just watch about the Bollywood shit. So we are happy, like we are just happy with this thing. So like what is coming, even in USA I see that even like a big Hindu community from Bangladesh, from India, we are living here like, but we are not organized. So in like we need to change our what I feel like we need to change our like thinking. We need to change, like we need to be organized. Like they are organized, like because we worshiping the like in sense like most of the Hindu people they worshiping the cow, and other hand other people they eating the cow. So we cannot live together. That's my like general thinking. So for that reason I think like we need to be united, and they try to like what about they brainwashing their people because they always zombie, because you cannot fight with them, but you need to be prepared for this kind of thing. And I agree with like what the Rana said and the other like Shubha said, because my district also close to the his districts like Lakshmipur, like we call it like Lokipur. So pretty much like I heard from my some of my friend like family members, some of my like friends, and from the Lakshmipur, they are saying like basically Hindu from that area they are suffering a lot. And I think they, I heard like they burned down some like businessmen, like Hindu businessmen. Basically they're targeting the Hindu shops. Also right now there is a thinking thing going on, like if you're like girls are like they are school going like girls, like or college going girls, they are trying to kidnap them, try to convert them. That's kind of thing is going on. And if we talk about the international media, because most of the media is left biased,
All right.
and there is a combination between leftist, Islamist, jihadist. There is always combination, so you cannot beat
So,
that.
Ashinda, let me interrupt you for just a second. So, we have
Mm.
this show is live, and a lot of people. But now we are doing very late today, so not as many people have joined live. They will watch as a show that is recorded. But someone joined, and but we always welcome comments from our viewers. So there is a person, Usman Mughal, who has put a comment in the chat, and he's saying that if Hindus are not hypocrite, then they are not Hindus. So, what do you say now? Your family, since the Noakhali days, and even before that, during the partition of Bengal itself, from those days onwards till today, the Bangladeshi Hindus are persecuting. And there is here someone who is actually watching you, and as you are speaking, he's calling you a hypocrite, and he's calling all the Hindus hypocrites. So, what do you say to someone like that?
So they can say it like because it's their personal view, like because uh, if we talk about this kind of thing, like because even like any kind of regime, like we are not safe. Like even Sheikh Hasina did the bad thing, worst thing with the Hindus, and like every
So,
regimes.
what drives someone like this Usman Mughal to say something like that?
So he's someone commenting on this like chat.
Yeah, so I'll put the comment up for you to see. He
Mhm.
just said this. So he's calling you basically, and all the people who are from Bangladeshi Hindus, he's calling them hypocrites. What do you say to someone like that?
Well, can I interrupt? Can I speak up?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Please go ahead.
Well, I think his name is enough to understand like what these people believe in and what's their mentality. He just proved what kind of mentality he
So who
these
is
people
speaking?
have.
Because I Subham. Okay, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, just his name just proved that what kind of mentality these people have, and what they believe in, and why it's so hard to why so hard to coexist with this kind of people. Not in Bangladesh, not in Pakistan. It's all over the world. This kind of people are creating the same problem all over the world. Here, Hindus are suffering. Somewhere else, some other groups are suffering, and the Western people they will suffer the next because these people have this terrible mindset and they just can't get rid of that. That's it. I mean, I know we can talk a lot about this, but unfortunately there is no way to fix these people's mindset. So I think we should move on.
So I have a question. Like he can see us, like we are talking about the thing, or he just
Yeah, yeah. This is
like.
a live show.
Hmm. So he's watching us.
He's watching us. Yeah. Let me go to so the other people are BK Datta is back. Uh, Datta ji, that you want to say something?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, I was actually in a meeting. My work is
No,
still
that's
going on.
okay.
So,
Welcome. Thank you for
yeah,
taking time.
yeah. So, I'm Bappi Datta. I'm living in US for about 12 years now. My family lives in Dhaka, Bangladesh. Um, my immediate family is not impacted by the recent incidents, but my paternal uncle's home, a part of home actually, they broke the a part of the home, um, and this and they lived in Barishal. So these kind of stuffs are happening like everywhere in Bangladesh right now. So some of the stuffs already or the other people have said. Apart from them, so there's a direct or indirect way of converting the Hindus into Muslim is going on also. Um, so my expectation is if we can organize ourselves together and create a movement somehow from US or from the Western world, and somehow if we can make it visible to the other people, because the thing is the media is not gonna show anything, um, because that's bad press, right? So uh, and also the Western media, it's not that the Western media doesn't know,
So
they know.
that's a you bring up a good point. So that you have something that about the media you were going to ask, right? Maybe this is the
Yeah,
time to ask.
yeah. The one big article that got a lot of attention was the New York Times article that justified the
Just one
killing of.
second. There's a feedback on someone's end. So if you're
Can
not speaking, if you can just go mute, I would appreciate it. Yeah, go ahead, Sudha.
Yeah, New York Times published an article with a headline about revenge killing of Hindus. They justified the killing of Hindus as justified because, according to New York Times, the Hindus were on the side of Sheikh Hasina, so they deserve to be killed. So I just want to say, all this narrative about Hindus deserving to be killed, of course, raised a lot of ire, anger amongst the diaspora here, and many of us got into action, called out the New York Times, and what do you see? Next day, the bully stepped down, right? New York Times took out the word revenge and just made it the killing of Hindus. You can just see how the West has, like you said, very much in collusion with the troublemakers. They are on the side of the killers, I would say, in Bangladesh, which is sad. The world has seen a lot of atrocities, and communities who have faced it, they have had a chance to correct the narrative. When the Hindu tries to correct it, we are called the criminals, right? I mean, something is wrong because we are not doing any such activity here. I agree with all of you that we need to have a global Hindu diaspora kind of a coalition, because we are about 1 billion people. If we stood together, nobody should be able to touch us. And this idiot here is, I'm sorry, I'm going to call him an idiot. He's got some issues, but let's not focus on it. We need to stand up and call the bully. Right now, the bullies in Bangladesh have weapons. They have a mob mentality. And what can a Hindu family on their own do? So that's why I think we do need to have the diaspora Hindus speak up for all of these suffering Hindus around the globe, particularly right now, Bangladesh. We need to have our lawmakers speak out on it and take action. But New York Times was the one big culprit in publishing some horrific way of representing what happened. And we
I
called
think
them out and corrected. Yeah.
so that I think you said it's the sad part. The sad part is that that land belonged to Hindus the longest time. That's the history of the country. You have annihilated the entire community, the entire the people there, millions and millions of people, and you have the audacity of calling the people who have been suffering for 70 plus years. 200 to 400,000 women were raped in 1971, as we know. And we hear every single day that the women are and girls are being raped. People are bold enough and brave enough to share these news articles and videos with the people outside Bangladesh to the wider audience. Whatever is happening there, I believe 90% or more than that is not even coming out. And the Western media has the, I'll use the word, same word again, audacity to portray it in the other light rather than focusing on the atrocities that the people are suffering. Every single day we see horrible killings, horrible rapes, brutally, hanging people out there, and the businesses being looted. Everybody knows how peace loving Hindus are, hardworking people. Everywhere we go, we create a community, and this is their land. When we hear from people, Hindus in Bangladesh, they never wanted to leave Bangladesh because that is their land. That is where their gods are from. So the sad part is that the Western media and the Western countries looking the other way and not reporting in the same light that the things are happening.
Yeah. Tanveda, you wanted to say something. Why don't you go ahead and uh, say what your
Yes,
thoughts
so
are?
I just tried to say it. I mean, the comments what we can see in the screen about hypocrisy and all. I must say that hypocrisy is something that is when Bangladesh, I mean, was a part of India for centuries. So nowadays, I mean, we have a good cultural bond in Indian culture and Bengal culture. So now practicing I mean Bengal traditions in dresses and in daily life activities is being defined as Indian culture, when practicing the dresses and all the other things from Arab culture is being accepted as its Bengal culture. So that is actually the hypocrisy, I think, from the social perspective. What we can see in Bangladesh, and the people, those who are commenting like this, I think they need to come out from their communal mentality to address Bangladesh as a land for all of the people, and to know the history of this land from where it born. And Bangladesh is a land. Bangladesh is and Bangladesh should be a land of its own tradition, and also it should upright its I mean what we say as mukti joddher chetona, the spirit of the independence war in 1971. So it's just my reply to the comment what I can see
Yeah.
on the screen. And I think the people like him should just go through the history of Bangladesh, and I think he need to read some books about it, by not being so communal to just put a comment here as a bully.
Yeah,
And
it's
that's
it's
all.
absolutely it is persecuting, it is victimizing the victims once again, and persecuting the persecuted. Sudha, go ahead. You have something you're
So
going to
I
ask.
have a one more question. So, like even Sheikh Hasina did the same thing with the Hindus because most of the her minister like they are also Rajakar. Like they got the like what is called Mukti Juddha, so-called freedom fighter certificate from our government, but they occupied too many Hindu lands. Like most of the kings, like in the British period, like kings and Indian government, I don't know what reason, she always like saying like those Hindu are living in Bangladesh, they always have some kind of like mindset to go to the India, but she herself taking the like Indian refugee like under the government of India. So I don't know, Indian government or the like Indian politician, they are also the some kind of bullshit mentality people. So they are not, why they are giving her like shelter, like send her to the some Middle East country, because
If they
she
would take
made things
her,
worse for the Hindu people, like she put the Hindu people in front of the lion or the tiger, and she went to the India, she living the luxury life, eating the food or whatever called hilcha or whatever thing, but Hindu are suffering because of her, but Hindu did not do anything.
Right.
That's
I
my
Uh,
just want
question
to
to you,
say, I
because
just
it's
yeah,
want to say
Sudha, go ahead.
that, yeah, I just want to say all these comments are interesting. Let's actually take a picture because we want to post it on social media. The reason is because they are putting these things because they know they are criminals. They know their community has harmed the minorities, and they know they are not of Arab descent. They know they are Hindus converted. They know they are of Bengali roots. What can they, how can they refute any of this? So the only way they can do is a cowardly act of putting these notes. Hey, go ahead and do that. Indian Muslims are safe in India. Okay, Indian Muslims say that. We are not talking about Indian Muslims. We are talking about in Hindus in Bangladesh that have been reduced and will be gone in 30 to 40 years. But Bangladeshi Muslims are going to be poorer for that lack of minority in Bangladesh. Plus, so
Uh,
just
I
let's take a picture of this.
if I may add another point on this topic, like I don't think we should focus on these faceless trolls like much, because there's no way you can change their mindset, whatever they are saying. Like you mentioned, they are coward because we are here showing our faces. They don't have any face, and right now anyone in a very undesired place from with a just simple click of phone can just do anything they want, can write anything they want. So I
Yeah.
think we should not waste our time like discussing this kind of troll
Correct.
and bots.
So
So
so let me
I have a question, Ajay. So
go
I
ahead.
had one question that with the change in regime and some traction happening, have do we see anything getting better in Bangladesh? Are Hindus rising up for themselves? Is there anything that you can share that you might have heard from your families back home?
So if I may add, like in my Chittagong, there have been unprecedented protests by Hindu people. For example, it also happened in many parts of the country, especially Chittagong and Dhaka. Like in Chittagong, approximately 3 lakh or 300,000 Hindus were on the streets, and there still are. Uh, and last weekend on Saturday, if I'm correct, there was like very bad weather. It was raining and all, but still, like 300,000 Hindus gathered to demand that they have equal right and share in the country. They are citizens of the country, and it's the country's responsibility to protect each and every citizen equally, give their right And also there has been like unprecedented support from the religious faction of the like Hindu sadhu or guru from ISKCON. One particular person is Prabhu Chinmoy Krishna. So he has been very vocal about demanding rights of Hindu people. That's from Chittagong. Also, there has been like a grassroots level Hindu organizations. Like there's one called Hindu Jagaran Moncho. So they are kind of faction of the Hindu coordinators of the student movement. So they are raising their voices for Hindu minority rights and Hindu citizen rights. And so far, there has been discussions of 8-point demand, and the points are there various 8 points, like giving them vacations for 5 days in Durga Puja, to having a separate minority affair ministry. So also there should be like rules and regulations to prosecute the violence atrocities targeting the minorities, so bring them something like fast track tribunal or fast track legal proceedings. So those kind of demands, which are very much appreciated. So overall, there has been like Hindus kind of had this. Uh, Hopefully, there has been like this awakening or this kind of civil right activism kind of mindset. Like we are part of this country. This country is ours. This country is our forefathers. This is our ancestral land. India is not our country. We don't want to go to India, Bangladesh. One slogan or one protest slogan has been very prominent, like "Amar mati, amar ma, Bangla ছেড়ে যাব না." Like my mother and my motherland, I will not leave Bangla. So there has been this developing stories which are very much hopeful that this will continue until we get our right as equal citizen of the country. So that's for you.
Subham, I have a question for you. That you know that Sudha mentioned in the beginning that many congressional representatives, senators have issued the statement, but we have not seen a statement issued by any of the presidential candidates. Is the Bangladeshi Hindu community working on getting statements from the presidential candidates? And the second is, beyond the statements, what do you want the US Congress and what do you want the US president to do about Bangladesh? So, for example, do you have a list of specific demands that you can present if you were to meet, say, for example, if you were to meet, Vice President Kamala Harris or President Biden or former President Trump? Are there specific demands that you have for them? Are there specific demands that you have for the chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee in the House? So, what is it that you want from them, so that we can direct our efforts into accomplishing what we desire?
Sure. I think US has a long tradition of fighting for justice and fighting for the who are being oppressed.
Mhm.
So, and also these are the countries where US did it, like Iraq, Syria, Libya, where we saw this kind of Islamic State jihadist and other Islamist terrorist organizations, which massacred
Right.
hundreds of thousands of other, like Yazidis. They took more than 6,000 Yazidi girls and women as sex slaves. That was in only like 10 years ago, 2014 until 2017. And then they
Right.
killed thousands of Yazidis, more than 10,000 Yazidis. This is not the
Yeah.
first time Yazidis faced it. They faced it for more than 70 times, including during the Ottoman Empire. So now you ask me about Bangladesh, why am I bringing the reference from Iraq or Syria? My understanding is Bangladesh is heading toward that direction. So we should be prepared for that. It will not, there is nothing like it will not only happen in Iraq or Syria. It can happen in Bangladesh, it can happen in Pakistan, it can happen in Afghanistan. Look what happened in Afghanistan. One of the rule thing is Bangladeshi Islamists are so inspired is because Taliban came into power in Afghanistan. That inspired them so much, that gave them so much confidence. So my request to this government, if I have the chance, I would say keep Bangladesh on watch. Keep Bangladesh on watch, because it's hard to control a group of people when they become uncontrolled or when they become deadly, and it's better to watch them early on. Whatever you can control, that's the government has their ways to do that. Keep these leaders and keep that others who are fueling these things in red list, or even stop the visa and everything. The government did it for like some other purposes, but I think they are taking it lightly. So that will be my request for the US government. Now the statement side, this kind of savage people, they don't care about who gave this statement on what kind of statement. They don't care unless until it touch their shoulder. Hey, don't do this, or if you do this, you'll be pay price. That is when they'll listen. But they don't give a damn about these statements. So we are not very frustrated about that. I hope at some point they take notice. The problem is many of these people, they're coming to this country, they're coming to the Western countries with the same mindset. What Bangladeshi people are suffering today, these people can be tomorrow. It's not just Bangladeshi Hindus. They should also
Subham,
suffer.
1 second. Subham, there's a lot of background noise. So if people are not speaking, can they please go mute? Okay, perfect. Keep go ahead, please, Subham.
Yeah, so I'm saying many of these people with the same mindset, they're coming here. Keep in mind, they are probably crossing the ocean. They're probably taking like 23 hours, plane trip, but they are not putting their mindset there. They're bringing the same mindset here. So today it is Bangladeshi Hindus, but tomorrow it will be US, tomorrow it will be UK. You see what happened in London, what happening in many European cities. So I think these countries should take notice because they will be the next. These people are coming here. That will be my message there. I literally think they're taking it lightly, especially because the media, they did not cover that much. But there's like so much vested interest here. That's why so many media remain silent. But
Well, the
it's
media
the,
went the other way around because if you look at what Sudha mentioned, New York Times, but also BBC coverage was very negative. I mean, you can expect that from some of the Turkish news channels like TRT World and all that. But even BBC coverage was like, oh, this a lot of it is fake news and things like that. So media is
Well, that's
actually
why.
on the
Well, that's
opposite
why.
side.
That's why London and UK, many parts of UK are in a very bad shape, right? Because they see Bangladeshi Hindus, they are facing it, they are fighting it. So you don't need to tell. They don't need to read Western media to understand what's going on. They are fighting it. They are fighting
Yeah.
every night. They are fighting every day. But these Western people living in UK, living in France, living in Italy, living in US, they need their sources, this news media. But these news media, mostly leftist media, they don't provide this information, the truth. So who are they harming? They're harming their own people because tomorrow it will be in their countries. I should not say tomorrow. We saw what happened in 9/11. We saw what happened in many other Islamist terrorist attacks. It will just increase, just increase. They're harming their country. They're harming their own people.
Right. Uh,
Shubha, I also think we never asked Pankaj to speak. Did we?
yeah,
Pankaj,
he's been he did speak, but he's fading in and out because he's in for some reason his connection is not stable.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I do have a question for Rana and BK. That all of you. The question is, in America, you have to be engaged with lawmakers. You have to personally go tell your stories to your lawmakers. I know you live in different parts of the country, but you have access to your lawmakers. Okay, and that can be your state, the congressional members, your congressional representative, whoever that is. You can call their office or go walk into their local office or call the DC office and ask for a meeting. You can speak about what is happening from your point of view. Nobody can speak about your trauma other than you, right? You can represent
Yep.
your interest. You should talk to your senators for the state who are also in Congress. You should be talking to your the state legislatures. I know it is a lot of work. We are happy to help because what Ajay ji does and I do, we do advocacy, and that is how you got in front of a congressional briefing a little while ago. We need your help to get more briefings. The other side is telling their story. Okay, they put a lot of money into it. They have huge organizations that fund this because obviously it's one big family around the globe for the Muslim. I don't have any issues with them doing it in the right way, because it's everybody has a right to tell the story. We have to
Yeah.
tell our story, and we have to tell it at positions where it matters.
Just to
I
add a
want
few points with what Shubha said, I think American leadership or American political leadership should engage with Hindu leaders in Bangladesh. For example, I told you about a Hindu leader. There is Rana Dasgupta, who was given a murder charge today, a sham murder charge, just to incriminate him. And there has been like many cases, like many journalists, even the cricketer Sakib Al Hasan was given a murder charge. Like this has been going on, well, he was outside the country when the murder took place.
I think
So I think American political
uh,
leadership should engage with Hindu leaders. From there should be people to people connection. America should invest on highlighting the genocide of Hindu or the atrocities of Hindu. In like I visited like Holocaust Memorial in New York. So I think there should be response from Hindu people all around the world to highlight what has happened or what has been happening to Hindu people in Bangladesh, Pakistan, even Trinidad, where the Hindus faced tremendous atrocities. And there should be museums, galleries, activities like this in libraries. There should be books written about it. American universities should provide scholarships to Bangladeshi scholars, Hindu scholars, and authors, and university teachers and university professors. Because if you see a picture today, one of the college physics department, they literally had Taliban flag, physics department, Taliban flag, and the message was that, dear Gen Z, did you know about Muhammad bin Qasim, the 7th century Arab invader who conquered Sindh by defeating Raja or King Dahir? So this has been placarded, this has been boasted in a physics department in a Jagannath college. So this is how indoctrination is rotting the society from top to bottom in Bangladesh. I think American universities, American civil society, American education powerhouse can engage with Hindu students and scholars. Not only Hindu, I mean widespread, to counter this narrative. Like this has no place in 21st century. And also, I feel like American leadership or American administration has a history of like supporting like the 1971 genocide of Hindus by providing ammunitions and diplomatic support. If you read the book by former Consul General of Dhaka, Archer K. Blood, he directly incriminates Nixon Kissinger administration then. Like they directly collaborated with the Pakistan army and the local collaborators in a Hindu genocide. This is what Archer K. Blood, the American Consul General, wrote in his own book by Gary J. Bass. So I think we should remind American leadership like their actions, their policies have consequences in the ground, and their policies should support the minority communities. The facade of democracy is not going to help American interest or global interest in long run. To be a
So,
real democratic country, Bangladesh should have the freedom of press, the freedom of speech, and also all the rights, minority rights given with appropriate judicial and legislative support.
correct.
I,
So, Asimta, let
I
me
have
ask
one
you.
comment
Oh,
to make.
go
One
ahead, Sudha. Go ahead,
Yeah,
please.
the comment I have to make, Rana, is US just gave, it's a US aid organization, just gave about $202 million.
$202 million.
Yes, and that is for governance and social, human, economic opportunity resilience. So, what I'm going to say is that we have a job to do. We can call the USA and say, how are you going to ensure that this is going to the items that you have allocated to? We want to have a say in it. When I say we, I'm talking about you, because you have families there. You can demand that you want to see how this money is spent. So I'm just saying our community needs to have some interlocking with the US government entities, so we can ask for accountability. Right now they're just throwing money there, and we don't know if it's going to the building the jihadi movement, killing more Hindu minority. What about the other ethnicities? I had a question on other ethnicities. There are many ethnic groups in Bangladesh. Are they suffering the same way as Hindus?
no, no, only Hindu, I think.
Well, no,
So,
there are there are only, so based on Bangladesh latest census, there is 91.04% Muslims, 7.95% Hindus, 0.6% Buddhist, 0.3% Christians, and 0.1% of the rest are non-Muslims, or like non-other,
My
ethnic
goodness.
minorities. So there is not minorities left to attack. You have to have people to attack. If there is people
Yeah.
in Cox's Bazar, like 100,000 people will not from Rangpur, they'll not travel to Cox's Bazar to attack those people. So there is literally not enough minorities left. There is some Hindus
Yeah.
left, and the reason is this country, this place was the Hindu dominated place, like probably even 100 years back. In 1911 there is 33% Hindus, 33% Hindus. By 1974 it dropped to, like, before independence war, there was 18% Hindus, more than 18%. Afterward, it became dropped to 13%. Now it's 7.9%. Another thing
That's
which
a
So
we
I
have
have
basic
a.
question. Uh,
Can
to keep in
I
mind
want to.
that
Yeah, go ahead.
these Hindu hate, India hate, these are well connected. So these people who hate Hindus, they also extremely hate India. Now I understand the point here, neighboring countries, they can hate each other, that's totally fine. But if it is for political purpose, that's okay. But that's not the reason here. They hate India, and then to justify that, they also hate Hindus in Bangladesh. The reason they hate India mostly because of religiously motivated, because India is not a Hindu country, but it's Hindu dominated country. That's the reason. And that's why when they say, did you Gen Z, did you see, like, did you know that XYZ conquered India? They also put Indian map with Kalima and with totally, like, Islamic way. So
So
India.
let me ask you this question. Maybe this is the this kind of dovetails into what Sudha asked and what you are saying, right? So let me ask this question slightly differently. Um, in last 1 year, close to a year, about 11 months, we have seen campuses being pretty much, uh, taken over by pro-Palestinian supporters. Right? They're
Mhm.
going in every campus. They had a sit-in. They camped out. They camped out on campuses. They asked the campuses. They asked the universities to apologize for having even interaction, like research projects with Israel. They, Hindus are not like that. Hindus are not going to go to that extreme. But now that, and when this happened, there was summer break going on and all that. Since last couple of weeks now, 3 weeks, the colleges are starting up. Do the Bangladeshi Hindus, in partnership with the Hindu organizations, youth organizations, other ecosystem of activist organizations, is the Bangladeshi community going to plan something on campuses to increase the awareness of what is happening in Bangladesh today? Because I understand things are happening in Bangladesh. I also understand that uh, you know you unless the US government is not proactively doing anything, but unless people speak up, unless there is a movement that is built that puts pressure on the US government to hold the current Bangladeshi interim government accountable, things will not change. So, from the Bangladeshi Hindu perspective, are you planning activities on university campuses?
Well, so far we did not plan anything like that. And unfortunately, we Bangladeshi Hindus are not that organized, even though there is like 13 million Hindus in Bangladesh. Also, keep in mind, we Hindus don't have a plan to conquer the whole world and rule it under Hindu laws. So we will not be as passionate as
No,
like the
just
other
to
group.
just from the human rights perspective, is there something we can do on American campuses to increase the awareness of the condition of Hindus in Bangladesh? So I'm not talking about in Bangladesh. I'm talking about awareness on American campuses, like the Palestinian support has been building up on US campuses. Why are the Hindus, especially Hindus from Bangladesh, in partnership with Hindu youth organizations, whether it's Hindu Students Council, Hindu Yuva, these organizations, and a lot of the other ashrams and all of them have Hindu youth movement, like BAPS has one, lot of them, Chinmay has one, everyone has one. So why are the Bangladeshi Hindus and these youth organizations not getting together and building a movement on American campuses to take up this issue, like Palestinians are doing?
Well, my question to you, My question to you: do all these pro-Palestinians are Palestinians? What percentage of them are Palestinians?
No,
Probably
but
not.
in front, probably
They
not
came
not
from
that
different
many, right?
countries.
Not that
Sorry?
many.
Yeah,
Not that
no, no. All
many.
I'm saying, in this pro-Palestine protest, are there even 5% from Palestine? No.
Probably,
No.
probably. I don't know what the percentage is, but
They
there's a
have the
global community.
leftist people, they have the people from other Islamic countries, because they are all uniting under one umbrella. They want to rule the whole world under Sharia law. We are the sufferer, we know it very well. That's why they're so motivated about it. Also, these people come to this country, they hate this culture, because think about it, they grew up in a culture with Islamic culture. They come here, they see girls are wearing shorts, they see there is bars everywhere, they see there is nightclubs everywhere, people are dancing. They hate this culture, but at the same time they can't leave this country, they need the money, so they live here. So these protests are their way to express the hatred for this Western culture. We Hindus can't do like this, because when we come here, we like this culture. At least if we don't like it, we don't hate it. That's the whole point here. This protest
There
will
Let
was
never.
me let,
a
let
there
me
was an
add
event.
one thing, Shubha. So I think we are trying to say that you have the resources. There are, even if we are not from Bangladesh, Hindus are paying attention. We are paying attention to what is happening in Bangladesh. You have that social and community support that can run or stand behind you. But like Sudhaj, you were saying earlier, this is something that needs to come from you as Bangladeshi Hindus, because your families are suffering there. We can stand with you. We can have, all the advocacy groups can stand with you. But is there anything that we can support you? But is there anything that you can plan as a community from Bangladesh, knowing that you will have the support and resources in your Hindu brothers and sisters here?
Yeah,
I
there are
just want to
some
also add to
would
that.
say nothing
Yeah,
happening.
go
Sorry,
ahead,
just
Sudha.
want to add to that. A couple of weeks ago at Berkeley, University of California, Berkeley, there was a vigil on behalf of Bangladeshi Hindus by Hindu Yuva and the Kona Youth Action and a few others. I'm saying we are ready. Our young people are also ready to stand with you. If you were to organize something in collaboration with these larger Hindu student groups in the United States, I think we can make some big noise. And I think the Bangladeshi Hindus are probably a very small number in the US. I just did some computations. Looks like maybe about 25,000. That's what I saw. Okay, that's not a big number. And out of that, if you have to look at how many students, and if you can start to collaborate. I know many of you are already collaborating. Just let's plan more events on university campuses, and we are also happy to come and stand with you in front of your state senators' offices or your Congress members' offices, so they pay attention.
May I add a few points to this topic? Just to add a few points to the previous topic, like in last 2 weeks, like there has been widespread vandalism of mazar, like Islamic shrine and Islamic places of like holy men who preach the religion itself, because they are considered heretical to the Sunni Islam or traditional Islam. So there has been violences to that, and even yesterday there was a big violence in Brahmanbaria or some other places between two groups. Some says it's Shia Sunni conflict. Some says that someone considered this procession as heretical. So now violence. I mean, even if you remove all the Hindus from the country, the violence will not end there. The violence will now then transform who is more Muslim, like then they will accuse each other, like this person is less Muslim than me, so that attack this person. Hizbut Tahrir is not more Muslim than Jamaat Islami is not Muslim than Ansarullah Bangla team or Jamaatul Mujahideen. So the violence doesn't end if the Hindus go away, just the target shifts from the Hindus to other. There also has been a church got attacked, if I remember correctly. The church was burned down because the locals or the Islamists thought that they are preaching Christianity, and so there was also some NGO involved. So there has been one incident to mention like that. Uh, so coming back to the why the Bangladeshi Hindus are not So first thing, like you have mentioned, Sudhaji, like there are not too much Bangladeshi Hindus in. Just to give you my experience, like I just became a member of Hindu Yuva in my university, and so far there has been only 7 members. So we do not have the institutional manpower and capacity to organize vigils and protests and all this. And just to share some personal unfortunate experience, like there was a Hindu organization in my university, but they were very much silent about the atrocities going on. They has been silent in 2021. They are still silent now. So this has been like a constant trend of Hindu institutions and organizations, say it like university student organization, or maybe temples, or maybe other Hindu, like for example, BAPS. BAPS temple got vandalized, but if you go to BAPS, they did not release a statement condemning the violence on Hindus in Bangladesh. Still, so I think this has been a unfortunate trend of Hindu organizations. So we definitely lack unity. Like Bangladeshi Hindus are also part of the global Hindu brotherhood or umbrella. We have to. It's not up to Bangladeshi Hindus' responsibility. I would also say that it's a community defense aspect. If we don't stand up for Bangladeshi Hindus, the next target will be West Bengal Hindus. If we don't stand up for West Bengal Hindus, the next target will be Kashmiri Hindus. If you don't stand up for Kashmiri Hindus, the next target will be Tamil Hindus. Even the same forces are in action in United States and other countries. Call it caste sensitivity or other kind of toolkits. The beating sticks change, but the target remains same. So I would say that we have to mobilize our Hindu people to come into vigils. And also, if you compare it to the 1971, though the American government was with the Pakistani collaborators, but the American people actually supported and was strong in protest for the Bangladeshi people who were facing genocides. Beatles performed, George Harrison performed, Pandit Ravi Shankarji performed. There has been a grassroots mass movement in America all over. They even blocked a shipment of arms. So that's why I emphasized on like awakening American people about the ongoing atrocities and genocide that happening in Bangladesh. American people are very much capable, and the civil right and justice, all those equality, all those things are the core values of America. We just need to tap into the American people's basic values, and I'm sure we will get a lot of response, which the Palestine side have done for so many years. The Palestine and Israeli conflict has been in American academia. This has been funded again and again. So there has been a lot of discussions. Even there has been a lot of scholars who came from very parts of the Middle East and outside America to give speech in American universities. We need to do the same, like to use all the power we have, create scholarly. Rajiv Malhotra ji is a big proponent of what am I talking about. So we need to create that kind of social academia and grassroots movements to get the full power of American system.
I agree.
I
I
agree.
also wonder. I agree with one of the commentators here that lots of rallies have happened. I have to say this is one of the most promising kind of action, that advocacy action I've seen from the Hindu community from around the globe. You know, rallies in support of Bangladeshi Hindus, calling out the atrocities being visited on them all over the world. Basically, we need to have a whole lot more. I do agree. Having big celebrities coming is makes a big difference. There's a difference between 1971 and 2024. The biggest difference, I think, is a narrative building that has happened here that actually paint Hindus as the bad people, right? So right now a lot of Americans think that Hindus are oppressive and abusive, whereas our behavior doesn't show that. Criminal justice statistics doesn't show that, but the narrative has been built by the same media and the academic environments, the universities, where that are now seeing all the trouble related to the Middle East, are the ones that are producing the poison against us. But we have to take it on head on and fight it. So all I think we are trying to say to all of you is that we are with you. Call on us. Okay, we don't have solutions every minute, but we are willing to stand with you. Go to a meeting if you have with a congress member or a senator and speak on your behalf. I'm willing to invite you. I'm happy to invite you to meetings. We are reaching out to our state leaders and Congress members about Bangladesh. I want them to know this is happening. Right now, it's not in their consciousness. We want it to come into their heart. So let us work together. You know,
That's an excellent point, Sudhaji. And I think with that, I think we are at time. Unless someone has any final comments, we are a little bit over time, but that's okay. It was a great conversation. I want to really thank all of you guys for not just coming on this show and expressing your views, but also it takes a good deal of courage to come and show your face and talk in person like this, because you guys all have your families back in Bangladesh, and the things are fluid, things are uncertain. So it does take certain amount of courage to uh, to voice an opinion which may or may not go well with the current regime in Bangladesh. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming here. I just want you to know, all of you to know, that all the Hindu advocacy organizations, especially organization like VHPA, which has sister organizations around the world, we are standing with you. You are not. Nobody should in Bangladesh should feel that they're alone. There are 1.2 billion Hindus in the world, and we are one of the largest Hindu organizations in America. Our sister organizations in Canada and UK and India and all over in Germany and you name it, every single country in the world. We have sister organizations. We are all independent organizations, but all sister organizations. And I can tell you that the sentiments that I hear from all these organizations is that we are with the Hindus in Bangladesh, and in some way or the other, we want to help Hindus in Bangladesh. I have an email today, just 15 minutes before we started this show, that from someone saying that someone in New Jersey who reached out to me and said, I want to help I want to help in Bangladesh. What can I do? So, just so that you know that you are not alone in this, we all have to be in this together. But it would be great if the students from Bangladesh take lead. And maybe this is a conversation we should have specifically about what students can do on campus. My background has always been student activism, student advocacy. So I'll be glad to work with Bangladeshi students on this, Bangladeshi Hindu students on this, because there's so much potential. If you take the lead on campuses, you can make a big difference in terms of how the government thinks and how the government of America deals with the government in Bangladesh. So please keep up the great work, keep up your courage, and we'll do this again. As and when as the issues keep evolving. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good evening, have a good night, and thank you for joining.
Yeah,
Namaste.
thank you.
Thank
Have a
you so
good
Namaste.
much.
night.
This is Hindu Lounge. Hindu Lounge is brought to you by Hindu Pact. Hindu Pact is Hindu Policy Research and Advocacy Collective. We come live every week and we talk about contemporary Hindu issues. So thank you for joining on behalf of Sudha and all our guests today. I want to thank everyone for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Okay. Namaste.